start they were hoping for over at Deadpool FC, as Wrexham could only manage a draw on the opening day. But what about the chasing pack? Are they in it? Are they out of it? We'll take a little look next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video today. We're looking forward to match number 2 over in the Vanarama National League. Of course, it is National League, top level, of course, non-league action, boys and girls. And we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe button to keep your banging today. All things non-league related, Blackburn Rovers related, world football related. We got it all here, boys, under one rooski. That's right, of course. Deadpool FC stuttered on, of course, day 1, match 1. But, of course, the biggest man in the league, probably, Paul Mullin, got himself off to a flyer with an opening day goal. But I'll have a look at all of that in just one second. If you're new, smash your subscribe, check out the links down below. Of course, big shout out to the VIPs. They are the Patreons. Let's get cracking then, shall we? Take a little look at how we all got on, of course, with my picks, your picks, of course, and see who, of course, comes out on top. So let's take a look at it then, shall we? Of course, jump in the deep end, and of course, recap, of course, match number 1, day 1, which of course was a bit of a rough start, of course, for the Vanarama League. Of course, 3 games did not go ahead, including this one. No, this one did go ahead. It was a 1-0 win for Aldershot, was my pick, as they took on Chesterfield, but of course, Chesterfield started off with a fantastic start, 2-0 win for them. It was this game, that's right, Bromley against Grimsby, postponed, I believe. Did not see it, did not see the result coming in, but we went with a 2-1 win for Grimsby, so we'll have to revisit that, of course, as and when that comes back. Dover against Solihull Moors, another one I think that got postponed. In fact, Solihull Moors were in action against Wrexham, so yeah, we'll elaborate on all that in a minute. Of course, it was a 2-2 draw between Wrexham and Solihull Moors, but this was the official match day number 1 fixture list, so this is what we went with. So at the end of the day, they switched it up a little bit. Wrexham took on Solihull Moors, Yeovil and Dover were not in action, so yeah, messy start. But will hopefully be a little more cleaner as we get into match number 2. Barnet against Notts County, a 5-0 win to Notts County, already flexing the muscles on the road as well, so fantastic start for them. Boreham also picked up a win against Weymouth. Happy days for that one, went with a 2-1 win. This shows you that my knowledge on this league is a pretty shitty one at the moment, but we're just learning. We're learning as we go onwards. Halifax Town did lose to Maidenhead, 2-1 win as well on the night for them, 2-0 win for me the other way. Lynn lost to Southend. Southend are up and running with a clean sheet with a 1-0 win over Lynn. Stockport County lost, of course, they are one of the favourites to go up, but Dagenham and Redbridge smashed them with a 3-1 win on the road as well. Torquay United, also one of the favourites, went with them, and of course Aldershot also smashed it past them as well, 3-1 win as well. Wealdstone, they did lose, of course, against Woking, 2-1 win, and Wrexham did get a point against Solihull Moors, I think, so confusing, confusion.com, but let's take a look at the situation in the table. It looks like this. As you can see, Wrexham are sitting down here with that 2-2 draw alongside Solihull Moors. Let's confirm that, but of course we went with what we had, and it was like that deep into the week, so of course I wasn't going to change it afterwards, and these teams have yet to get going. But that's my pick. How many did I get? I got myself 1, which is not fantastic, is it really? But let's take a look at you guys then, shall we? Me and Karen Wright, of course, on the money there with just 1, but Alex Weller up there with 5 alongside Tom Stainer, and again Bradley Hill as well. Russell Frost not too far away either as we head into match number 2. So here we go. We're going to jump straight in the deep end. Of course, if you want to get involved, it is free to enter, and it is, of course, cut.d/non-league number 2. Now, there's a bit of good news in regards to the static link. We will have one by the time we come back after the international break. So I think some games in the lower leagues, League 2, League 1, National League, Bundesliga 2, they will keep going into the international break. But we'll try and, once we return from it, that's when, of course, the static link will be in force. So it'll be like cut.d/non-league or Vanarama or something. But that'll be, of course, talked about later. But anyway, let's get going then, shall we? Of course, keep your name as is. Let's get into it. Now, again, this one, I'm struggling to find actual odds based in the United States. See, I don't have a VPN at the moment, so I'm looking to get a VPN over the next couple of weeks to make it a lot easier. But at the moment, we've got very, very limited odds. We're going to kick it all off, though. Take a little look at Boreham up against Aldershot, of course. These two sides play each other 12 times in 2050. 3 wins for Boreham, 5 wins for Aldershot, and 4 draws. The biggest win for Boreham over Aldershot was a 3-2 win. The biggest win the other was a 2-0 win. Of course, last time I played in Boreham was a 3-2 win for Boreham. Of course, heading into this, of course, Boreham would start off with a win against Weymouth. Of course, Aldershot started off with a defeat. We do have odds on this one. 11-8 on is your Boreham Wood, 5-2 is your 80-5 is your Aldershot. Again, maybe during the week those odds will increase. I've got about a handful of them at the moment. So at the moment it looks like Boreham Wood are your favourites, of course, National League, and of course Aldershot are your underdogs. But for me, I'm going to go with Aldershot. I don't know why. I'm just going with my back knowledge on it. But I think Boreham Wood might be your best bet if you just go against me this time. Next, of course, we have Dagenham and Redbridge. I take, of course, Bromley. That's right. Don't have odds on this one, so we're gonna go with our gut. Played each other 10 times since 2016. 6 wins for Dagenham, 3 wins for Bromley, 1 draw. The biggest win for Dagenham over Bromley was a 5-1 win. The biggest win the other way was a 3-0 win. Last time played each other over in Dagenham was a 1-0 win for Dagenham. That's back in February 2021. Dagenham opened up with a 3-1 win over Stockport. Of course, Bromley opened up with a 2-1 win over Welling, of course, to give themselves a shot at this already. Looking better good for both of these two sides. What's going to happen on this one, though? I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Dagenham to make it back-to-back wins. Eastleigh, they take on Wrexham. That's right, of course, it's Redbridge FC. On the road, though, played each other 15 times 2014. 2 wins for Eastleigh, 5 wins for Wrexham, 8 draws. The biggest win for Eastleigh over Wrexham was a 1-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 3-0 win. Last time played each other over in Eastleigh, it was a 1-1 draw back in February 2021. Of course, Wrexham did play Solihull Moors. That was a game that was supposed to take place on match number 40. Of course, they flipped it forward, but an away draw for them on that one last round. Meanwhile, Eastleigh have yet to get going, so this will be the first match of the season for them to see how they got what have they got in their locker. But I think they'll lose it to, of course, Redbridge FC. They've got the money, they've got the boys, and of course they've got the backing right now. So of course, 1-0 win for Wrexham, get the first points on the season, and of course move on. Do we have odds on that one? We do not have odds on that one. Next up, of course, we have Chesterfield up against Wealdstone. Another match I do not have odds, but they played each other twice since 2020. Just 1 win for Wealdstone, nothing for Chesterfield, and 1 draw. Heading into the last time, the biggest win or the only win for Wealdstone was a 3-2 win. That was in Wealdstone back in October 2020. However, last time played each other at Chesterfield was a 0-0 draw back in May 2021. Of course, Chesterfield start off with that win against Aldershot. Wealdstone start off with that 2-1 loss to Woking. And of course, we'll be looking to try and rectify that this time around. Of course, for me, I'm going to go with on this one. I think I'm going to go with Chesterfield. Yeah, back-to-back. Is that back-to-back wins? It could very well do. I do have slight odds on this one, actually. Chesterfield are your red hot favourites. I don't have the actual numbers of the odds. I have the numbers, but it doesn't make sense to me. But I could just read it, translate it to the fact that they are your favourites. Eastleigh are your favourites. Yeah. So there you go. Next, of course, we have Woking. They're going to be taking on Halifax Town, of course. Do I have official odds on this one? I do. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Played each other 2-1 times for 2002. 8 wins for Woking, 6 wins for Halifax, and 10 draws. The biggest win for either of the two sides is a 3-0 win over each other. Of course, heading into this last time, played each other over in Woking was a 0-0 draw back in October 2020. Of course, Woking started off with a 2-1 win over Wealdstone. Of course, Halifax did lose to Maidenhead. We do have odds on this one. We have 7-5 for Woking, 21-10 is your draw, and 50-8 is your Halifax on this. Type on this one. I'm going to go with a draw, 1-1 on this. Next up, of course, the Grimsby Town. That's right, up against Weymouth. That is right. Played each other 0 times. It's the first time they played each other, of course, heading into this. But Grimsby on 50% form. Weymouth on 17% form, of course. Weymouth started off with that loss against Boreham Wood. Of course, Grimsby yet to get going. We'll be looking to kick on their season, of course, with this one. It's got a busy couple of days up ahead for Grimsby, with Stockport waiting in the wings. I don't have odds on this one, but maybe I do have a little bit of an indication. I don't have nothing. I have nothing on this one. This may not even go ahead, so I've got a bit of a gut feeling this one may not even go ahead. But if it does go ahead, I'm going to go with a 2-0 win. Of course, it's available for you to get pick in, so have a little look. I'm going to go with 2-0 win for Grimsby. Next up, of course, we have Maidenhead up against Dover Athletic. Again, another game that might not go ahead on this one, but we'll talk a little look in a bit about it anyway. Played each other 16 times 2009, 3 wins for Maidenhead, 8 wins for Dover Athletic, and 5 draws. The biggest win for Maidenhead over Dover Athletic was a 7-goal thriller, 4-3 in favour of Maidenhead. The biggest win the other way was a 4-1 win for Dover. Last time played over at Maidenhead was a 2-1 win for Dover back in September 2019. Heading into this, of course, Maidenhead kicked off with a win against Halifax Town on the road, and of course Dover yet to get going as well. I do not have any odds on this one. I don't have any indication as well, because it's just going to go with my gut. Again, this one is a couple of question marks about it if it will actually go ahead on this. So I'm going to go with a 1-0 win for Maidenhead if it goes ahead, but really it probably is postponed. Next up, of course, we have a bit of a zinger, and that's right, of course, Notts County taking on Torquay. That's right, I do have odds on this one. Of course, played each other 11 times 2005, 3 wins for Notts County, 2 wins for Torquay, and 6 draws. The biggest win for Notts County over Torquay was a 5-2 win. The biggest win the other way was a 4-2 win. Wow. Of course, last time played each other over in Notts County was back in 2019 in the National League. It was a 2-0 win for Notts County in Notts County. Of course, Torquay opened up with a defeat against Altrincham. Meanwhile, Notts County flexed their muscles again with a 5-0 win against Barnet. Of course, odds on this one we have 20-19 on is your Notts County, 23-10 is your Torquay. Sorry, 23-10 is your draw, 27-10 is your Torquay on this one. Type 1, but I think Notts County will go big again. 3-1 win. And again, continue their recent opening day blitz. Next, of course, we have Solihull Moors up against Barnet. Of course, played each other 6 times 2018, 3 wins for Solihull Moors, 1 win for Barnet, and 2 draws. The biggest win for either two sides was a 2-0 win, that's right, including last time around. They played each other at Barnet. However, last time they played each other at Solihull Moors was a 1-0 win back in May 2021, going in favour of Solihull Moors. In fact, you're going to go back to 2018 for Barnet's last win over Solihull Moors. That was back in back in 2018. Of course, Solihull Moors with the draw against Wrexham opening day 1. Meanwhile, Barnet did come in on the back of this, a 5-0 loss against what's this? Chops, Torquay. I mean, Notts County. Bookies odds 13-8 on is your Solihull Moors, 14-5 is your 4-1 is your Barnet. Long shots on this one. I'm going to go with Solihull Moors with a 1-0 win as well to give it an unbeaten start to the campaign. Next up, we're kicking on forward. We have Southend up against Stockport in the battle of the S's. That's right. Played each other 7 times 2008. 3 wins to Southend, 2 wins to Stockport, and 2 draws. Last time played each other. In fact, the biggest win for Southend over Stockport was a 3-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 2-1 win. Sorry, it's a 3-1 win. Wow! Get it right. Last time played each other over in Southend was a 3-0 win in the FA Cup back in 2012. Last time played each other in the league in Southend was a 1-1 draw back in 2010. In League 2, of course, Southend kicked off with a win against Lynn. Meanwhile, Stockport kicked off with a defeat against Dagenham. We have odds, do we? No. Or do we have anything? We do have slight odds, and I think slight odds is Southend are your favourites. Only just. It is tight, though. Could go either way. That's why I've gone with a draw, 2-2 in the end. And then finally is Yeovil. They're going to be taking on Lynn, or are they? This is another game that could be postponed. Played just the once since 2020. It was a 3-1 win for Yeovil, and it was in fact in Yeovil. Scrap that. They played each other twice, but there's only been 1 win, and that was Yeovil, and that was the last time they played each other in Yeovil, which was back in May 2021. A 3-1 win. Of course, Yeovil opened up there. They did not open up. They, of course, yet to get going as well. Lynn, though, opened up with a defeat against Southend. I've got nothing on this one because there is a bit of a shroud of controversy if this game will also go ahead on this. But if it does go ahead, I'm going to go with a 1-0 win for Yeovil on this to give themselves a bit of a boost to kick off and get the first 3 points of the ball. That's my picks. Be sure to get your picks in, of course, using the code right here. Is a link, cut.d/non-league number 2. If you're savvy with the old smartphone, you can use the QR code just like that. But that is it, boys and girls. Be sure to give the video some love. Smash the old thumbs up, smash your subscribe, check the links down below. We'll, of course, cover this one all the way through to the final whistle at the back end of the season. But until then, see you soon. Smash the thumbs up, smash the subscribe, and see you soon for the next one. We're done.